Welcome to Bill Dance Saltwater. Great fun, fishing that anyone can do. Yes, you can do this. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another fishing trip with your longtime fishing buddy, Bill Dance. Today, Bill is headed for the Barramundi Lakes that his dear friend Byron Hennessy owns and manages. Every time Bill is in this area, he makes sure he stops by to visit the Osceola Outback, the only licensed fishing operation in the northern and western hemispheres of the world where you can actually catch a barramundi. That's right, I said the only place in the northern and western hemisphere. Now you can go to Australia and catch one, but why would you want to do that when you can go to St. Cloud, Florida and fish with Bill's good buddy Byron of the Osceola Outback Adventures Lakes? These fish have an unbelievable growth rate. They're super fun to catch, and to top it all off, they're really good to eat. Now, barramundi can grow to over 100 pounds in their native lakes and rivers. They'll fight with the power of a snook, jump out of the water like a tarpon, and give an angler a truly one-of-a-kind experience. So what do you say? Let's go fishing.
There's one, Bill.
Is he on the bottom?
Yeah, bouncing along. It's a pretty good one.
It never gets old, does it?
No, man, no.
Another barramundi. Now, how old's that fish right there?
Fish is be 3 years old.
Oh, look at
There's
here.
you one, Bill.
How old is that one?
3 years old.
Boy, look at the strength that fish has got right there. Now, you can't tell me if you like the fish, you want somebody wouldn't enjoy that. Bring your wife, bring your kids. Sometimes they just won't open their mouth. He hit me with his tail, and the force they have in that tail, the power. Look at the span. Look right there. The span on that tail.
And the head, man, they're made for pulling. Look at the shoulders. Look how thick their shoulders are.
Yep. I mean, that it's just the fun is in the catching, and the power they have and the strength they
When
have.
they hit it, ain't no doubt. People say, well, you know when I got a bite? You're gonna know when you got a bite.
No, there's no question.
No.
I mean, this is just a perfect place to learn how to fish a bait, like what we're fishing right now. If someone wanted to know how to fish a speed shad with a lead head, or you could take this outfit right here, which is effective, say on a largemouth too. You take this underspin jig. That's what we're using. It's a Bass Pro underspin jig. Now this particular one weighs a ½ ounce, but they make them in different weights. And what we've attached to it is a Bass Pro Shop Speed Shad. Now this is the 3.5 inch size, and they make that in several different sizes.
You know, you're on a property that doesn't get the pressure open water lake does, and we know we have approximately 10,000 fish in this impoundment.
Now right here in this one, you've got 10,000
yes, sir.
fish.
There's 10,000 fish. So
That'll
we know, huh?
That'll average what in size?
Oh, anywhere from the smaller side of around 5 pounds up to about 14 pounds. You know, you're talking about fishing a lure, or you pull one out of a tackle box on an open water lake and you're bass fishing, you don't get stuff on you, think, oh, it's a lure. Well, you can fish these fish every day and them hit a specific bait every day. And the next day, the water temperature changes, barometric pressure changes, the moon phase changes. You can't make these fish eat just because they're in a private pond. Even in a private property, quote unquote stocked area, you're not gonna force that fish to eat if everything's just not right. Just like a snook.
Because he is a snook.
He is.
How big is that one?
He is, I'd say every bit of 8 pounds. He is 9 pounds. Look at that thing, Bill.
See you around there, dude. Boy.
Bill Dance Saltwater is sponsored in part by Bass Pro Shops, and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Quantum Rods and Reels, Quantum Performance Tuned. And by Mercury Marine, go boldly.
Today's Conditions Log is brought to you by Bill Dance Digital. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for great information that can improve your fishing.
You have the only barramundi operation in the Northern Hemisphere.
That's correct. We have the only location in the United States where you can fee fish, catch barramundi on hook and line. So if you want to catch this barramundi, you have to come to us, or you can fly to Australia, or you can go to Thailand. That's it. The only places in the world you can catch them.
Ooh, wee, look at that one. That's a good.
Ain't bad.
Oh yeah, look at him zip that line. They're pretty strong too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, man, look at that. Oh boy, he hammered it. He said, "Look at them little beady eyes, how close those eyeballs are together."
And see how high they're on top of his head?
Look like a
that way you
halibut.
can see them baits when it gets right on top. Isn't that pretty? Look at the purple in him.
Yeah. You love
That's a prehistoric fish, Bill.
Are they?
Yeah. It's the word barramundi comes from the Aborigines, and it means big-scaled river fish. It's an Aboriginal word. They found the paintings of these fish on the caves in Australia.
Yeah. Boy, I saw him when he bared down and started stripping that line.
You can almost see my smile on the backside of my head, couldn't you? The small fish you catch, they're only 2 years old. The smaller ones that we do catch, those are probably 2 years old. And then those bigger fish, they're no older than 3 years old.
So that 9-pounder I just caught is 3 years old?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, sir. But he's not really going to put his weight on now after it starts warming up. He'll start adding his weight. And that's when we'll see that ½ a pound per month average, because once that fish is over 3 years old is when they get into their growth spurt. So after this,
Wait a
summer,
minute, they get in there what?
a growth spurt.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they'll get into a boost in their size, and they're changing their size. So they'll, and what they're doing is they're hermaphrodites, so they're all born males. So until he's about 5 years old or 20 pounds is when he'll convert into a female fish. So this fish now at this age is starting to stack his weight on to get ready for the next year to 2 years when he changes in or has his big metamorphosis. This summer we'll see these fish, that fish that we just caught at 9 pounds, by the end of summer should be close to 13. So
Good gracious. How many 9-pounders you think you got in
there
here?
is a pile in here. I mean, there is a pile.
How many 13-pounders you think are in here right now?
You know, we've caught them up to 14 and 15 pounds, but we haven't caught but a handful. But I know they're not alone. I mean, there's not, even if it's, 2% of the population is big fish. So there he is.
Oh, look at that jump. Boy, the jumps that fish put on.
Right?
That little one right there, he just cutting a shine, isn't he?
Yep, he's just going off.
I'll tell you one thing. They'll fight you harder than a 7-pound largemouth. All right, Buster. Come up here, dude.
That's a 2-year-old right there.
Two-year-old. That fish is 2 years old. That's unbelievable. Well, are these fish nocturnal?
Yes, and that's why right now his eyes, when we catch them, you'll see their eyes are green. So as soon as that sun sets, it turns red, blood red, the eyeball does. And that's so they can feed at night. So they're primarily night feeders. So us catching them in the daytime is not the norm. So
Is that why you wear green shaded sunglasses?
yeah, it makes me cooler too.
Oh.
They turn red at night.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Mako Boats, building legends for over 40 years. Gamakatsu, the world's finest fish hooks. And Bill Dance exclusive rods by Quantum. Today's show is brought to you in part by Berkeley, catch more fish. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. And by Mystic Lubricants, lubrication domination. Today's equipment log is brought to you by Gamakatsu, because the fish of a lifetime only comes once in a lifetime.
It's amazing to me how you can order these little fish from the Queensland in northern Australia.
Yep.
And they travel all the way. And they fly into what, San Francisco or Los Angeles?
Yeah, they're coming to LA and they'll
LA.
bring them into Miami.
And then they fly them into Miami. Do you go to Miami and get them?
Yes, sir.
Then you bring them here.
Yep.
And they survive. Oh, well, they're a hardy little
They're
rascal.
tough, man. They're
Huh?
tough. We bring them into our hatchery, and they'll stay in there for 6 weeks, and they'll come in at about 1 inch long, 1.25 inches maybe, and in 6 weeks they'll be 6 inches long. And then we put them in a pond, and in a year that fish will be about 1.5 pounds. And after that they start
really
substantially growing.
The
after
growth
that.
rate explodes.
Yeah. Yep. In 2 years they're 5 pounds. We should have them to 5 pounds in 2 years.
My man, oh, look at that. Now that's the strength in that tail.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at that, come out just nice and pretty.
just pretty. Look at that. That eye, I don't know if you can see it's green or not, but like you said, it's green in the daytime and it's red at night.
Tonight it'll turn blood red.
How do you think, is he close to 8 or 9?
I'd say he's every bit of 8. He's a big fish. He's a little better than that last one.
Wow, boy, you are a pretty one. Okay, ready to go. See ya. I mean, they hit the water and they just go shoom.
Aerodynamic.
Ah. This body of water, I notice you got one over here, and there's more ponds or bodies of water over and even behind us. But is there any irregular features in here, any structural features in this pond?
No, Bill, really, it's the ponds are pretty flat bottom, but there is a ledge that runs around the edge of the ponds where it drops off from like 3 feet down to about 5 or 6 feet.
Actually, where it was dug out.
Yes, that's right.
So basically, these fish spend the majority of their time suspended.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to swim this pond because normally the paddle wheel's running, so these fish are always forced to swim. So like you said, they're suspended. They're always feeding, they're always getting pushed around the pond with this paddle wheel with the current.
All right, what forces them to the bottom?
Cold weather.
Oh, a change in the weather.
Changing the weather. If it gets cold, it'll push those fish to the bottom. They'll hug the bottom.
Or barometric pressure change.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Now, we just had one, and you've got this bluebird day.
Yep.
So you've got extremely high pressure today, so it's pushed them down.
Yep. You got to deal with that. After about 2 days, once that high pressure moves back out and it levels off, those fish will get back to feeding again. So
Yeah, they move up.
yep. It's not any different than bass fishing or walleye or catching snook or redfish on the river. They act the same as any other fish. They react to the barometric pressure. They react to moon phase, temperature changes.
So they don't know they live in a small body of water?
Nobody told them.
That's right. And that's a medium heavy rod. Look at him, he just takes it and just powers it down. Fun is in the catching. Woo. Fun is in the strike, the feel. Look at that. All right, open up. I tell you what you got to watch. So, look, show those. That razor sharp.
It's gill plate.
It's just like armor.
Listen there.
Tap that.
And he's got spikes right here. You can see them sticking out.
And that is sharp as a razor.
And he will cut you.
That fish is probably 2.5 years old.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
The Bill Dance Question and Answer of the Week is brought to you by Mystic Lubricants and their complete line of JT4 marine products. A full line of products for your full line of pursuits. Visit mysticlube.com today.
What's the key to catching big sheephead? Well, my buddy and guide Josh Nelson in Destin says light tackle, a few baits, and use 20-pound braid with a 2-ounce lead and an 18 to 24 inches of fluorocarbon leader with a 1/0 Gamakatsu circle hook, and says it's good to have live shrimp and fiddler crabs. And don't forget to concentrate on depths of 12 to 18 feet from December to February.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Millennium Marine, a new class of comfort, and by Finnor, legendary tackle since 1933. Closed caption provided by The Bill Dance Store. Check us out online. Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin and their GPS map series, Shark Plotter sonar combos, with their advanced sonar technology, like Panoptic's Live Scope all-seeing sonar. You'll spend less time finding your fish.
I learned a long time ago that you're only as good as the people you work with, and you only perform well if you use the best equipment possible. That's why I've always tried to associate myself with good folks and good stuff. Consider this 225 Pro XS Mercury Optimax that helps me make a living. What can I say about this old gal? She's always dependable, totally reliable, and she's always ready to go when I am.
Come be part of Bill Dance Digital. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us.
He's a good one, ain't he? Oh!
Well, that was a big one.
That was probably the biggest one I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, you say that made me feel better.
Woo!
Oh. Ooh, big one.
Nice.
Oh man, look at that big hunky bunk right there, son. You get him up, hand me your rod.
I think I can get him
Oh,
right
that's
here.
a beautiful one. Hand me that rod. I've got it. You got him?
Kinda.
How big you think that one that big one that jumped off out there was a minute ago?
He was big.
How big is big?
Probably 12 pounds.
You think he'd go that big?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna let my bum in his mouth.
What are you doing? Will you get that fish in?
Woo! Doing sign language.
Look at that, buddy boy. You got a good hook on him.
He is a good one.
Wait a minute, it's in your sleeve.
That's all right.
Look at the one. Look how big a one I just caught. It's still in
Don't
your
set the
sleeve.
hook. That's all I can say.
Hello. If someone wanted to come down here and fish, do you furnish rods and reels and baits?
Absolutely. We take care of everything they need on the trip. From rods, reels, tackle, cooler with drinks, a guide on staff. They don't need anything. Don't even need a fishing license if they're here fishing for Barramundi because it's on private property.
Oh, that is a big one. I'm not kidding you.
He's stretching you out, ain't he?
That's the best one I've had on.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Whew. Man, I tell
Lay
you
it
what.
down, Jesse. You got to want to throw it. Bigger ones do. Look at the boil that he made.
What'd you say, the bull weighed 5 pounds?
Yeah. Just look at that hole. He just takes it and just bows it up.
Good fish. He wants to go.
Boy, that is so doggone much fun. I can't tell you how much fun I've had today. And you are the man that can make it happen, folks. That man right there with the fish in his hand is the man. Y'all got to come down here and go with him at Osceola Outback Adventures. Byron Hennessy is the man.
Woo! That's one heck of a promo, isn't it?
Huh?
I got a heck of a plug right there.
Well, it's the truth. Bring your family. Bring
a neighbor you don't even like. Bring anybody.
Yeah, just come down here. You have more fun. You have more fun than you can imagine.
Well, there you have it. As Bill just said, Byron Hennessy is the man. And let me tell you, barramundi are a ton of fun to fish for, and you can catch them on topwater lures, crankbaits, spinnerbaits, just about anything you want to throw at them. In fact, all you got to do is show up, because Byron can provide everything you need to make this a tremendous experience that you won't soon forget. Do us a favor. Give Byron a call at the Osceola Outback Adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again next time on Bill Dance Saltwater. We hope you've enjoyed Bill Dance Saltwater and learned that you can do this. Yes, you can do this. Please join us right here next week.